It is 9:15, WDOD, 72 is your temperature reading, and our special guest this morning is Fletcher Bright with the Dismembered Tennesseans. Fletcher has been playing the fiddle now for 47-plus years, and he's pretty doggone good, Goat
Yeah,
Man.
he is. I'll tell you he is.
What are you going to ask him to play?
What about Down Yonder? Just a little bit of Down Yonder, or...
Goat, let me.
Okay, all right, go ahead. The one you like the best. Go ahead, then.
That one, maybe we ought to have a little rhythm on that one. But
Well, it's because Frank's listening is why you don't want to play that.
That's right.
So you go ahead and play the one you...
this is a tune that I've just gotten interested in, and I learned it from Art Stamper, a fiddle player up in Kentucky. He plays it around a little bit. And then it came out on a cassette. I kind of think it's a neat tune. It's called Johnny Don't Come Home Drunk.
Are you going to sing the words too?
We think this was written by Johnny's codependent wife. It's an old-time tune, and here's the way she goes.
Fletcher, do you do Somewhere My Love, Laura's theme?
No, I don't. I mean, I know.
I want you to learn that one.
Yeah, a lot of fiddle players do it. Benny Martin does it a lot. Yeah.
Roy Clark does it on the banjo, too.
Yeah.
But I want you to learn that one, and next time you come over here, we want you to play that for us.
Somewhere, My Love?
Yeah, Laura's theme from Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah, I know the tune.
Yeah. Well, you could do it for us.
That's too slow. This is early in the morning. We got to stick with it here.
I know he does the Orange Blossom Special. I don't know whether you need a little rhythm to go along with that or not, but...
well, we could...
you want to try it?
Marilyn could sing if that would be enough rhythm.
Boy, I make everybody upset.
Well, she sings in church.
Yeah.
Just in the choir where nobody can hear me.
We'll let you play one more for us.
The Orange Blossom Special?
Yeah, whatever you want to play. You know what you can do. I mean, I know that you need the rhythm guitar there a lot of times in order to...
Yeah, and I didn't bring mine.
I didn't bring mine either.
Well, let's see, Earl. The Orange Blossom would be a little hard because it's just a lot of whistles and things.
All right, if you get up this morning and you walk in at the house and get your fiddle out, what would be the first song that you would start to play on it?
Why?
Don't you play that one?
I'd play Sally Gooden.
All right, play
that.
it then.
Yeah. I'm not going to play it all. It runs on for several minutes.
It's like their version of Life's Railway to Heaven, 17 and a half minutes.
That's right. I'll just play you a little verse and a chorus of Sally Gooden.
Okay.
It's got some good verses to it. It's, one verse is, Sal and I went blackberry picking. We all got drunk and Sal got a licking.
Hey, that was good.
A good country band is just not complete until they've got a good fiddle player.
I agree with you. Now, Frank McDonald, of course, likes to say that the fiddles have fallen out of favor and that he only keeps a fiddle because they might come back someday. But you and I both like them, don't we, Earl?
Go ahead, Goat Man.
Well, I was going to say, these guys started back years ago, when you sit out on the front porch in a circle. You remember?
Oh, yeah, still doing it.
People would walk for miles to go to someone's house where a family would get out under a shade tree or out on the front porch, and they'd get in a circle, and they'd sit and thump, 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 tune up their instruments, and then they'd cut out on some music that'd make the hair stand up on your head. So these boys started back in those times, and I love that kind of music.
How many live shows would you say that you've played? Thousands?
There's no way to know. I would think we would play. We play 100 shows a year anyway, so you could multiply it out. We
At
might
47.
47.
I'm not good at arithmetic, but you can figure on that.
You played on WDOD
Back in the old days.
back when they had the live programs on.
Yeah, we did that, and I guess when WDXB first started out there on Vine Street, we played out there a lot. A lot of the musicians, Wally Bryson played out there with us, and we had a group, and Buck Turner. A lot of people cut their teeth out there. That was a little bit after the Radio Playhouse.
Did any of the Blaylocks ever play out there? Or,
I don't remember Clyde being there. You know, Brian would be too young.
yeah, way too young.
But he may have.
And of course, you've been on national television. You've been on ABC and NBC.
Briefly.
People
Briefly.
all over the United States have seen the Dismembered Tennesseans.
Briefly.
Well, now the NBC piece, I didn't see it, but it was on their Sunday morning show. It was what, about 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was a little bit longer. It was 5 minutes.
More in depth than the ABC piece.
Yeah,
The ABC piece sort of encompassed the Dismembered Tennesseans with some of the other music around the Mountain Opry.
Yeah, if you blinked, you could have missed us on
No,
think not?
it was a good minute and a half.
yeah.
It was a good minute and a half, and that guy, I forget that announcer's name
remember
from
that,
ABC, but
seeing
he was
that.
really impressed with you guys.
Kenley Jones?
No, it wasn't Kenny. He's NBC.
Okay, he was the other one.
This was this might have been John Martin.
I can't remember.
But he came up to me that night that we were up there at the Mountain Opry, and he says, those guys are really good. And he was
I'm
impressed.
surprised Willard Scott didn't pick up on when he was visiting here. That would have been one of the things he would have liked to have kind of gotten in. Next time he comes, you'll have to get up real early.
We'll try.
Well, let's see. The morning that they did Good Morning America from the university, weren't you down there?
No, we weren't there.
One of the groups was down there that morning. You remember when they had the show from Good Morning America?
That's where they belong, on something where we can really hear them and we can brag about them.
Well, now you was talking about getting up early. Frank still has to work for a living, so he gets up early. Frank McDonald, he gets up 4:30, 4:45 of the morning. They say, and
Not
That's
every
just 'cause
morning.
He can't sleep. That's all. Conscience bothers him.
Get to that age where you can't sleep, huh?
Where do you want to play, Fletcher, that you've never played? If there's one place that the Dismembered Tennesseans could go, is there any place in the country that you really wanted to go and play that you've not picked there before?
The Grand Ole Opry.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? I saw a young lady playing fiddle at the Grand Ole Opry about 3 weeks ago, a little blonde gal. Boy, could she cut loose on that fiddle. That was fun. But that would be good to see you there.
And
We'd
you've
all
never
come.
been invited?
We have never played the Grand Ole Opry.
Now, Dalton Roberts has.
Yeah.
Dalton has, but you've never played on the Opry. You'd like to do that.
Yeah.
why are we seeing so many female fiddle players now? You see them quite often.
Well, Allison Krause was here, and she left her fiddle in Nashville.
This is an interesting story, Goat Man.
So I got a call about 5:30 that afternoon, and they said, "Do you have your fiddle?" And I keep a fiddle in the office. You never know when some customer might want to hear a tune, So I said, "Give me 5 minutes, and I'll bring you a fiddle." So I took this fiddle right here down there, and she played it that night.
Can't you imagine you're sitting there with Fletcher Bright, this big real estate tycoon, and you're sitting there and you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's on this big exclusive contract, and the guy says, "Hey, Fletcher, could you bring your fiddle out and play Sally Gooden before we close the deal?"
That about halfway reminds me, what was that? Was it an Elvis Presley show where this guy loaned him a pick from the audience, or what was that? Something.
I don't know, Goat Man.
Yeah, I believe Elvis Presley was appearing somewhere, and he went out on stage, and I believe it was Elvis, and he forgot to take a pick with him, and some guy in the audience picked a guitar, and he got up and went up and handed him a pick up on the stage to him. So.
Did you play fiddle with this gal then after you lent her your fiddle?
I loaned her my fiddle, but I didn't play with her. Now, if she had asked, I probably would have. But
Yeah.
One of the Osborne brothers, you did a little twin fiddle gig with one time, didn't you?
Gosh, I don't remember.
It seems like that I know you and Wally Bryson.
Bobby Osborne, of course, plays the fiddle.
It seems like I saw both of you maybe down at the Louvin Brothers Music Park one time.
Yeah, we could have done that.
Yeah, and I know that you did a little twin fiddle thing one time with Wally. And what's the fiddle player's name up at Dayton, Tennessee? I've not seen him in a long time. I don't know what he's doing now.
Buddy Daniels?
Buddy Daniels. You did a little twin fiddle work with him one time.
Yeah.
Do you like to do that?
Yeah, I twin fiddled with Laurie Lewis up in West Virginia here in early August. Had a good time up there at a full bluegrass instruction week up there at that college up at Elkin, West Virginia.
What are some of the awards you've received? And I know you've received them, and I know you're very modest and don't want to talk about them, but I know you've been honored many, many times in these contests.
You're on the wrong track, Earl. Maybe we ought to drop that.
Well, now, when Frank introduced you one night, you had just returned from some contest, and it was you placed first or tied for first in some contest. I forget what it was.
I did win a fiddle contest back in the early 70s at Crystal Cave.
Yeah.
As we say, Crystal Cave.
Yeah.
And, Frank embellishes it a little bit. He says that it was raining pretty hard that day, and there weren't too many people. And he says the judges were out getting pickup trucks unstuck out of the mud. But I did win that in the early 70s. Earl, since that time, it's been downhill.
No.
I went down to Fort Payne Saturday. They had a fiddle convention down there and had a good time. And I entered the contest and I placed third. So I'm kind of.
Oh, that's good.
I'm kind of.
How many fiddlers were there?
There were 3.
No, truthfully, how many were there? I bet there were lots.
Oh, they were a pretty good number. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But it's fun.
You went to Macaulay School.
Yeah.
And Frank went to Macaulay.
Yes.
Was Ansley Moses and Doc Cullis also in that class?
All of us were there.
And how did the dismembered Tennesseans all get together? I mean, you weren't the dismembered Tennesseans, obviously, at that time, but...
We were, but we just didn't know it.
Okay.
We were inspired. You remember Zeke Clements?
Mm-hmm.
He's still alive and well over in Nashville, and I played with him at one of John Hartford's parties recently, and he's a good musician. But he played a program out at one of Macaulay School's chapels. They must have been driving through town and just stopped, and they put them on, and they played we called them hillbilly shows in those days. He played a show, and I remember that that was probably just after the war, and he had a couple of hits out. One of them was "There'll Be Smoke on the Water, on the Land and the Sea." When Victory, I forget the exact words, but that was a good one. Another popular one he had was "Pistol Packin' Mama, Won't You Lay Your Pistol Down."
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Pistol Packin' Mama.
He was famous for those songs. He also did the trick yodeling on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. At any rate, he played that show and inspired us. So we thought we could get a band together. And
is it true that a couple of you got detention one afternoon, and while you were serving your detention, you pull your musical instruments out and you start picking? And is that really the way the dismembered Tennesseans got started?
That's a good story. It could have been. I don't.
47 years ago.
Could have been, he said.
Well, you take Ansley Moses, the banker. Is Ansley retired now?
No.
He's still with First Tennessee.
He's with American
Bank, okay. Right. And Doc Cullis, Frank tells the story, the difference between a dentist and an orthodontist. Now, what's the punchline on that, Fletcher?
The difference is about $1,000.
Yeah. And, of course, you're one of Chattanooga's most famous real estate magnates, and Frank McDonald, in the McDonald family, president of the paper. I mean, when you put 4 people from 4 different walks of life on stage, you forget your profession. And you
no wonder they're jealous of each other.
But it's very rare that you come up with a combination like this, Fletcher. I mean, I don't know of any other musical group in the country comprised of 4 people from all different walks of life.
I think it's rare that such successful people are willing to give their time and go out, not just for pure self-enjoyment, but give their time for charities, for these causes. For instance, this with the nature walk and so forth. I really am impressed with people of your success, taking time to do this for the community. I think it's great.
For that many years, especially, yeah.
Well, we love it. We love the music, and we're also egomaniacs, so it all works together.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Well, I know you've got to go make a living, but give us a little tune here.
A little tune.
Let me ask you something before you give the tune. Who's going to do your sound down there for you?
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. Mike Castleberry from Mike's Music.
Old Mike. Yeah, Mike's Music. Yeah, down in Flintstone.
And
yeah.
Mike,
yeah, he's good.
Mike is a better musician than any of the dismembered Tennesseans. But we've been using Mike, his sound. We're getting too old to carry those speakers around.
Mike's good. He's got some good equipment.
He's going to have his stage, and we'll be doing sound checks out there for the bands a little early, and so we're delighted to have Mike do that.
Well, you'll get one of the best ones among the best ones around when you get Mike. Mike is good now.
He's good.
Yeah.
Well, give us a little traveling music here.
A little traveling music.
Can you do Keep on the Sunny Side?
Keep on the sunny side.
I mean, I believe you've done it once or twice before.
Well, it's really not a fiddle tune, and
yeah, but you turn loose. I mean, after about a minute of keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side, keep on the sunny side of life, and then Fletcher looks over at you and then he always goes dut 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 dut. Fletcher, it's been a pleasure having you come in and entertain us this morning.
I'd like to stay all day, Earl. This is a lot nicer than where I'm going.
Well, that client up there may be waiting on that big deal, And
I doubt it.
Might want to hear Sally Goodman about 20 minutes into the deal. Hope you have a big crowd out at the Nature Center on Saturday. Starts at 1 o'clock. Bring the family, plenty to eat, a lot of things to do for the children, and I hope this is the start of many, many successful festivals.
Yeah. We do too.